Now then folks, welcome to the channel, VFR Mitch, back again. Today we're going to be talking boots, waterproof boots, winter boots if you like. Now my first ever video on YouTube, believe it or not, was my initial review of a pair of Held Joblin Waterproof winter boots. Now I've owned many pairs of Held gloves, and I regard them as some of the best gloves that are available. I was replacing a pair of TCX GTX 5 Gore-Tex boots, which I'd had for 10 or 11 years. They'd never let a drop of water in, but the sole had worn. They were slick, there was no grip left. So I decided to look online, and at the time one of the bike shops was doing a deal on some Held Joblin boots. They promised to have, they didn't have Gore-Tex, instead they had something called Outdry. Now Outdry is a membrane which is specially laminated with the outer boot. So that's a laminated, it's a fabric which is bonded onto the inside of the leather, if it is leather boot. It is water, windproof and breathable. So it was guaranteed to be waterproof and breathable. Sounds a bit like Gore-Tex, doesn't it? Well, I'd had these boots for about 3 years, and the other day my Royal Enfield Interceptor was due a service. You don't get to pick the weather when your bike goes in for a service, and it was absolutely raining cats and dogs. To get from my house to the dealership in question was a 40-minute ride down the motorway, and it was raining heavily. Not to worry, I had on my Merlin Monty wax cotton jacket, which I've yet to review. I had on a brand new pair of Oxford Hinterland waterproof bottoms, and my trusty Held boots. Now then, jacket was bob on, bone dry. The brand new pants from Oxford, bone dry. The boots that I'd not worn much, you've got to bear in mind that I bought these 3 years ago and we've had COVID. So a lot of biking wasn't done in COVID. Within 20 minutes of me setting off, both feet were soaking, pissed wet through if you like. Wasn't ideal. I wanted to rely on these as being waterproof. Some high-tech fabric which is bonded to the inside of the boot to make it waterproof and breathable. Wasn't the case. I will put a picture of my of the water ingress up on the screen. I'll also show you the boots. Now these have been drying out for 2 days, or 3 days should I say, in a dry room. Yeah, they're in need of a clean now. Look at the state of the damn things. But my feet did get pissed wet through. I rang the dealership where I bought the boots from and said, look, these things are supposed to be waterproof. My feet are pissed wet through. What's the story? How long have you had them? I have had them 3 years. Lightly worn, as you can tell by the soles. These have done about 1,000 miles between the Interceptor and the Honda Cross Tourer, which had a DCT gearbox. So they've not had hard life, and they've not really been worn in bad weather either. If they've got wet, they've been dried out naturally before being put away back in the box. So obviously I rang the shop where I bought them from. Sorry sir, I've only got a 2-year guarantee, the 3-year-old. It's fair enough, I'm not going to have a go at the retailer. A 2-year guarantee is a 2-year guarantee. So I sent a message to Held, Germany, saying look, I bought these waterproof boots 3 years ago. They've hardly been worn. They've been well looked after. Probably been worn about 20 times. 1,000 miles or just over. They're leaking like a sieve. It's like, sorry sir, they have a 2-year guarantee. Which is fair enough. So you're telling me you could wear these every day for 2 years, abuse them, and on day 700 and odd, complain because they're leaking and get another pair. But you can't do 1,000 mile in them over 3 years. Hardly wear them, so hardly wear them. And within 20 minutes your feet are pissed wet through. Wasn't good enough. So I said, look, I know they're only got a 2-year warranty, but 3 years old, they're hardly worn. My first ever video on YouTube was my initial thoughts of these boots. They came back and said, I'm sorry, it's no compromise. The boots have failed, but they're now too old. What I think's happened, and I might be wrong, is that the membrane that's bonded to the inside of the outer boot is probably still intact and probably still waterproof. Where it appears they're leaking is where the sole is glued onto or bonded to the sock part, the top leather bit, because looking back at the picture of my foot again, both feet were the same. It had tracked in a certain pattern on both boots, so the top hadn't leaked. There's no holes or cracks in the sole. It's purely where they're bonded together, so the glue's failed. Now if you're going to get boots, what I'd suggest is, would I buy these again? No, I wouldn't. They're a comfy boot. I'm going to clean them up and polish them, and I'm going to wear them when it's not forecast to rain, because I can't rely on them. Instead, what I've got, I bought these some time ago in the sale. Some guys would recognise these. City Adventure 2 Gore-Tex. Now, as well as the Himalayan, as well as my Interceptor, which I've retro riding gear, I've also got a Himalayan, which I'm going to be taking off-road, and I'm going to be using these bad boys. So if I get any bad weather or I'm going off-road, I'm going to wear these. I'm not going to review them because there are loads of videos online. I will give you my initial thoughts after I've worn them to ride in, and it will be an honest review like the Held one. I also got delivered yesterday these DXR Hinckley, which are full grain leather boot with a waterproof lining in. So these aren't a winter boot, but they're not a summer boot. If you get a little bit of rain, I'm expecting these to be able to cope better than the Held boots. Again, I'm not recommending the Held boots. If they leak within 2 years, you're fine. After 2 years, my opinion is probably going to end up throwing them in the bin if you're wearing them in wet weather. That might be unfair. I might have got a bad pair, but both boots leaked the same, which is not good. Gore-Tex boots, on the other hand, I believe are guaranteed for life, and they're normally made with a Gore-Tex sock, which goes fully around the foot, including under the footbed where your sock goes, basically, so your foot is fully encased in a Gore-Tex membrane or sock, I believe. Anyway, thanks for watching. Can I just ask, if you're not a subscriber, can you please subscribe? About 80% of my viewers are not subscribed, so please subscribe. Only takes a second. If you like it, click a like. If you want to drop me a comment and your thoughts on the Held boots or any waterproof boots you've had which have done the same, then please drop a comment. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.